Hello, guys. Happy New Year. Um, and I'm just sitting here, right? Um, I was working from home and I'm back in the office and stuff. So, anyway, yeah, it's a new year, guys. I know it's too late. Well, it's not too late, but yeah, it's rather late to say compliments. But I am here to say that. Anyway, to begin the year, I actually won't explain, obviously, where we have been and all of that. Maybe some people feel entitled, that I should explain that, but for me it's just one of those things where it's like life happens, YouTube happens, and I think sometimes when it comes to certain things and trying different projects at the same time, there's one that's going to fall off, and then there's one that you can actually still get into, and obviously life will just life. So that's where I've been. But I'm just gonna try this year and be consistent and not worry about niche, and not worry about how I'm going to come across and all of that. So I think that's been one of my biggest challenges. Was having to say I actually love conversation. I do love conversation, but there are times where I'm just thinking, okay, let me just have direction so that people know that when they come into my channel, they know that, okay, we know this person talks about fashion, for example, even if it's in conversation, but it's going to be about fashion. But I'm freeing myself from that. I'm just going to do what I feel like doing because I am that person. I'm just free. Hence, I'm able to hold this project and this other one, and they will be different, and even from my job and the things that I'm passionate about. So, why should I try and limit myself and all of those things? So yes, I know it's very important why we hear a lot about niches, we hear a lot about how to do this, how to do that, but I'm just gonna free myself and I'm just gonna surrender. I'm gonna say what I need to say. Yeah, so today I'm gonna talk about your our heart check. It's actually a heart check, I guess. A heart check in, if I could put it like that. I hope you guys can hear me. I was just thinking a lot about how people perceive certain things, and that stems from obviously their heart condition. And I've just been so passionate about this that I've been sharing it obviously on my WhatsApp and my personal circle, I guess, and talking about how people perceive things and how we are able to actually even sometimes extend and elongate certain conversations or arguments per se, only to find out that it's just the lens, the perspective that someone has and their heart condition, and it also, today I was reading the book of Proverbs 22. So yeah, it was talking about the heart, that if you love the purity of your heart, and the grace in which you speak, it doesn't have to be a low tone or pitch or whatever, but everything that flows obviously from what is inside. You can tell when someone speaks from a place of, my heart, I'm hurt, and that is just what I just wanted to talk about. We find ourselves even arguing with people, especially in this social media time, where you would actually find someone that is actually pure in their heart. Maybe you can tell from their tone, or if you are in tune with your emotions, or emotionally intelligent, if I could put it that way. There are certain people that you can tell, this person is texting from a point of, this person has been hurt. You might not pinpoint the trauma, but you can tell that, okay, this is coming from a place that is negative. So that is so the social media age, where everyone is permitted and everyone is allowed to have their opinion, whereas before you would have that opinion with them, the people that you align with, when they say misery loves company, there are people that actually are in circles where everyone is just toxic. Everyone just feels everyone owes them, or they feel entitled, or their family members, for example, maybe a household where people come from a certain household, a certain mentality. And now we are no longer in those spaces where you can just be your toxic self within the toxic people that would validate that. Now you are mixing with people different types of people, different types of sociological constructs and environments that they come from, and it becomes very difficult. However, I just need to maybe just speak to each and every one of us in terms of how our heart condition, that we need to try and make sure that we fill our hearts with what is good, because no matter how much you can pretend, whatever it is, an abundance of your heart, the mouth will speak it, whatever it is. If you are carrying unforgiveness, bitterness inside your heart, trust and believe, whether it's going to be from a text or whether it's going to be from a retweet, we will know your heart condition. And whether it's from how you perceive things. I'll make an example, because I was talking with people regarding this whole DJ Zinhle and Nadia, and the AKA rest in peace situation, where some people didn't even understand, they didn't comprehend how two adult mature women can get along, how they can move on, how someone can literally move on and have a friendship maybe with their baby daddy and the family, to a point where even the person that the guy brings, they trust them enough to be around their child. Then for some reason people feel that as unspoken of, whereas there are people that actually see this as normal, as how people should treat each other. Then those are the things that will actually make you see that, oof, some people are really, really hurt out there. There's a lens, there's a perspective that people have, there's a view that people have of how situations and things should be dealt with, and you know very well that it does not come from order, And when I speak of order, I'm speaking, I'm currently reading a book by Jordan Peterson, speaking of 12 rules of life. And I think in the second chapter, I'm only in the second chapter, he's talking about chaos and order, right? And he was just referring to so many things in terms of religion and the belief systems. So obviously in the Chinese or Japanese, they have the yin and yang. In Christianity and all of these other religions, they have it. So when you look at actually the yin and yang symbol, you will see that there's a side where there's the side where it's light, right? It's white, and obviously would represent white, and then there's a dot of black, right? Then there's another side where it's like black and there's a dot of white. For me, that gave me the revelation that there are actually people that live in chaos, right? There are people that live in that black area and visit the white area. And then there are people that are constantly working and wanting to be intentional residents of the white side. However, there's the dark side that visits them and then they quickly come out of. And that is how sometimes we deal with people, and that is how sometimes you see the conditions of people's hearts, where, okay, when you're a dweller of darkness, yes, there are times where you are happy, but it's that small percentage. And it's so sad that we live amongst such people. For some reason, they want to draw the light to the darkness, but not because they want to feed off that light so they can become light, but to overwhelm the light, to intoxicate it, if I could put it like that. So I've just been learning a lot about people's heart conditions, because I'm someone that is very I love to communicate. So I love for people to understand me. I don't want to be misunderstood. I want to make you see and feel what I want to say and how I want to articulate it. However, sometimes when you are now dealing with someone that their hearts are stony and they have no choice, like they don't have, I don't know, there's a stubbornness. There are people that are stubborn, like they are abofaro, where it's like, let my people go, and this person will make sure that they find every excuse on why their heart needs to be hard. And that is also what I've realized in, I don't know, what we're living in, on the generation where we, as much as we say that the previous generation is stubborn, when we speak about how they don't want to ask for forgiveness and all of those things that we experience in our households, we are so stubborn to actually, so I think our stubbornness is totally different, because our stubbornness comes from a place of, I know better and you cannot correct me, and this is my life, and this is how I'm going to do things. I don't care if it hurts people, or I don't care if it hurts a fraction of people. I don't care if it hurts me only, as long as other people are not harmed, And it just comes from that arrogant and prideful place where it's like, you are harming yourself. Your health is deteriorating. You are becoming toxic in the way that you speak to yourself, you speak to other people. But we are such a fake woke society where it's like, I have what I have to say. I don't care whether my health is deteriorating. I don't care whether it's affecting my mental health. I don't care whether you think I'm not okay, but I'm gonna do what I need to do for me, self-care, self-love. And this self-life is just becoming sadder and sadder, because people are withdrawing, because they are canceling people that are calling them out, right? Whether you do it with grace or whatever, if someone's heart is stubborn and they are committed to making sure that every place they actually come into, they just intoxicated, there's nothing you can do about it. But it's scary that we are living amongst these people. It's scary that our children are going to date, potentially marry people that come from mothers and fathers that think like that. And yeah, I guess that's just my heart check-in, that let us strive to be teachable. Number one, let us strive to be a community where it's okay for someone to call you out of a behavior. It's okay for someone to actually show you blind spots, because this generation, for some reason, we think I don't know, we cannot be called out, we cannot be shown a different way. And when I say this generation, I'm talking about myself as well. I've made so many mistakes where I've been like, I can do this on my own. I don't need to consult anyone. I can do this I don't need a second opinion. I'm going to do it, And if I make a mistake, I'm going to own up to it. However, what is beautiful, what I know that we need to learn lessons in life. However, if you are able to not learn that lesson, why do you want to put yourself through that, So I've come to a place where I've humbled myself, and I think also it helps to have people that actually can call you out, because some people, obviously, I don't know, it's maybe the way they say it, but I've had people call me out, and I've had to do the work of humbling myself to hear people out, because that's another thing where if you have someone that has good intentions, but if you are not committed to hearing them out and actually realizing which it's not a bad thing to have good counsel, because even the Bible does say that it's beneficial when you have a multitude of counselors. If you have wise counsel, it's beneficial. So isiZulu, they say indlela yaziwa kwabaphambili, and we've always been those people that didn't want to believe when people speak about. It's okay to ask elderly people. It's okay to ask people that have gone through something for their advice, and not just be that person that doesn't want to hear from other people. So I think that's another thing. And yeah, it's just, I think, what I have to say regarding a heart check-in, that let us just position our hearts properly, so that everything that flows in us, can just come out and be light. And light in terms of light, yes, but also light in terms of burden, because people that are walking around with toxicity, walking around with all these issues that they don't want to get rid of, they are not light. And everyone they see is someone that is is coming to attack them, or someone that is, and their response, even, someone would actually laugh, like people would just pass and laugh, and that person would think, you know what, they're laughing at me, and and offense, they become greatly offended by anything and everything. So let us just fix our hearts, guys. There's so many scriptures about our heart postures. There's so many scriptures about what we speak and how we speak, whether to ourselves, whether to people, that actually does not bring a refreshing of our lives. And yeah, success. And success, people would say it's relative, but, let us prosper in every way. Let us be healthy in our mind. Let us be healthy in how we think. Let us not normalize depression and being mean, and and just put a new face or a new term to it, where you can just be like, I'm self-made, or I am who I am, or all of these terms that glamorize toxicity, that glamorize negative thinking. Let us come back, guys. Let us just come back to community. Let us come back. This whole thing of saying, I don't need nobody, I don't need, those are the things that make our hearts burdensome, like burdened, and heavy, because we don't want to pour it to anyone and all of those things. I know there are certain issues and challenges that people face, because I know there's just this thing as well about whataboutism, and I constantly speak about that you would be speaking about something, and then someone would just pull up that 1% of something that has happened and be like, no, the reason we don't speak to people is because they've betrayed us and our trust and whatever. But there are certain areas in our lives that we are willing to give 4, 5, 6 chances to, and for some reason that is okay. We are in toxic environments, maybe in our jobs or in our relationships, and it's not the first time, it's not the second time, but however, there are certain things where you're just drawing the line, and those are the important things that you can actually give second, third chances to. So let us also evaluate that and stop with the whataboutism. And you know very well that, this is going to be an excuse for me not to fix my life, so that I can just pull up that 1% of that other person, not even your issue, another person's issue that you've heard of, and then you personalize it and you internalize it, and you're like, you see, that's why I don't want to deal with people, because my friend's cousin's friend's aunt said that someone betrayed them, and it's not even you, So yeah, I hope you guys can hear me, Shem. Because I'm not willing to re-record this, because it's just something that's just flowing from my heart. So anyway, happy Monday, and I hope to do more of these and whatever else that I can do and just share. And I just feel this is just my diary, and because I'm an intentional person, I'm just going to pray that it touches even 1 or 2 people, that they can examine themselves and their heart conditions. Let us just be intentional in the posture of, sometimes you can just be like, okay, hang on, why do I feel like this? Why is my heart feeling like this towards this person or towards what they said? And just evaluate that and think about that. It's time to be intentional. Anyway, have a great Monday, a great week, a great reflective week with your hearts and your condition and your posture. Bye.